Yeah, I think it's interesting, having been involved, with mechanical, electrical, sustainability engineers, but having been involved with Nexia on some of these early projects, it's refreshing actually, because you get this whole team come together, right? And it's like you know where you're going, right? Even though Nexia are producing only the panel, they're procuring everything else, and so that holistic approach, very much feels like that sort of nirvana of design, construction, fabrication, and we're all talking about speed as well, right? So there's that speed to construction. How do you make it more efficient? Less waste, and it's quite a, I would say it's been a refreshing process. And one of the things I'm interested to see where it might go is also into the existing building world. And I think we all know that's the the biggest challenge that that we're just scratching the surface of right now. But as a product, this looks to me like a product that could be very well suited to that existing building decarbonization, right?
I was going to ask, is that the key driver that you're seeing for change and using other things like decarbonisation agenda, or is it the productivity, bit of both?
Well, I think decarbonisation is something that I still think it's got a long way to go, right? But that how do you do it in buildings, especially operational buildings, right? That seems to be the biggest barrier to actually sort of doing anything in buildings is like you're shutting the building down, right? And so if we can come up with modular approaches and integrated envelope structure, MEP services that you can layer on the building and be in and out in a short period of time, and not have to sort of take tenants in and out of spaces, then that to me is a solution. And what you have here is a system that's super insulated and airtight, and we can achieve a lot of those things with this, right? I think that's kind of one of the places we really need to go there in a hurry.
I think with the off-site manufacturing part of that as well, with the ability to produce it and inspect it within a factory, you minimise the risk of thermal bridging that's not ideal and that kind of thing. You spoke in your presentation about the the emission side that buildings contribute. So across the globe, I think it's at 39% there. And if in a factory you can get that the insulation exactly right, the thermal bridging minimised, it really contributes to the overall contribution over the life of the building of the energy use.
So Stuart, if I understood that bit right, you can see this being retrofitted to buildings to improve the thermal efficiency?
Yeah, well, I think in terms of the types of buildings, the sector of buildings that Mark's talking about as being a target, I see that as that's an overlay, right? Here, let's just kind of take the old cladding off, put the new on, and then do it quickly. And if we can integrate the services, and I think that's one of the things that we've seen, that even if we can't get all of the services within the panel, it pushes you to modularization of the services, because there's no point in being able to put an envelope in and then send plumbers and electricians in there for for half a year afterwards, right? Fitting it out like we fit out a regular building. What's the point of that? So even if you can't fit it in the panels, you still come up with modular approaches to the services that get built off site at the same time, and they come in a kit of parts, and so it's that sort of approach to modular that from the envelope then pushes into the services, and then you get the whole approach.
And we've seen a real interest in our the retrofit, so taking the envelope panel that we applied to the Marriott, and then using that same principle for existing buildings. What we're looking to do is to reduce the overall weight of the panel, so it doesn't adversely affect the existing building, but keeps the thermal performance and the durability and everything else. So but we're actively looking, we're actively being encouraged to do that. And then, like Stuart says, just the modular approach to the MEP as well. It kind of fits really well with that, and we've actually been kind of working together on how we do that with another partner here locally. Just taking lessons from the hospitals, in fact, and making it into kits and parts for other things.